welcome to this week's edition of the Old Poetry Podcast. And it gives me great pleasure to introduce today 7-time world champion across 3 different weight classes, Ring Magazine pound for pound great, boxing Hall of Famer, Sugar Shane Mosley. How you doing, Shane? All right?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing really good. I'm all the better for having you on the podcast now. It's been a long time coming, a bit of chasing back and forth, but I'm glad you're on, pal. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, man. All right.
No worries. So what I like to do with all the podcasts is start at the beginning, where you grew up, and kind of what led you down the path that you kind of took in life and down the boxing route. So yeah, over to you.
So in boxing, I started boxing at the age of 8 years old. And I grew up in Pomona, California, which is LA, like LA County. I wouldn't say it was more so. It wasn't poor, but I wasn't rich. I was like middle class, so I didn't really have to box. Both my parents worked. They had both of them had good jobs. My father was my trainer at the time, but what happened was when I was 8 years old, I was such a energetic person, energetic child, where my mother was like, you know what, take your son to the gym with you because he has too much energy and he needs to burn some of it off to go to sleep. Because everybody knew that, like, I was that kid that wanted to win. I had to win. I would try, like, I remember going to the pool and doing a flip. I would try to do a 1.5 off the diving board. I was only 50 pounds or maybe lighter, and the board wouldn't spring. It wouldn't spring, so I would just keep going belly flop until I got the 1.5. The whole summer, I was trying the 1.5, and I got it finally at the end of the summer. But I was a kid, very determined. Didn't matter about pain or anything. I wanted to win. So boxing, I chose boxing when I was 8 or 9 years old because I'm like, you know what? There's not a kid that can beat me my size and my weight. It just won't happen. That's what I felt. And I was the type of kid that had to win everything anyway, whether it was football, basketball, baseball, whatever marbles, tetherball, kickball, whatever it was. I was the guy they wanted to have on their team because they knew that I was really, really, really trying to win. So I was just a different breed, even as a kid. So
Yeah.
I think that led me down the path of boxing because I chose it. I told my mother when I was 10 years old, I said, you know what, I'm gonna be great. I'm gonna be great because nobody's gonna be able to beat me my size, my weight. They won't be able to beat me. So that was just me. And I think that's why boxing was so good for me, is because I can control my destiny. I can control the wind. Because I can stop them and they won't be able to, the judge won't be able to cheat me. So that's why I knew that boxing was for me.
Yeah, it sounds like you've got like a competitive nature from the start. So whatever you put your kind of heart into, whether it be kind of whatever sport, you're determined to succeed. And obviously you chose boxing. And obviously you kind of went to a boxing club. They picked up on that. You got would you say you had like a natural talent from the start with boxing?
I think that I had a natural talent for any sport. Really, I was actually good at any sport: basketball, football, baseball, whatever it was. I was actually the top guy in any sport. But boxing, the reason why I chose boxing because, like, we have a team. The kids didn't try as hard as I did. They were like, oh, we're just doing it for fun or whatever, and I'll get mad because it's not fun. It's for keeps. So boxers 1-on-1 is like they can't beat me 1-on-1. Nobody's gonna beat me 1-on-1. They can beat me with a team with somebody's not really trying and mess up or something like that. But if it comes down to me winning, then I'm gonna win. And that was my thinking. That was what I really believed that.
Yeah.
So that's why I chose boxing. So boxing was a choice. I could have chose anything, but boxing was a choice because of that particular thing of me being in charge of the fight and me being in charge of who can win. And I know it's gonna be me. Then that's why I chose it for all the way
Yeah.
through. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of with boxing, you're on your own in the ring. It's down to you, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've got to you've got to have prepared yourself, and you can't rely on anyone else. It's a lonely place. They call it the loneliest place in the world, don't they?
Yeah, they do. They do. But I love that. I love that. I love that it was that way. I didn't want to have. There was no excuse if I lost. It was my fault because I lost. But really didn't think that I would lose. I mean, the first time I lost, I cried. I was like, well, I really didn't lose. I thought I won the fight, but they gave it to the other guy. I was like, I think as a kid, I was like 30-0 or 30 something and all, and I lost this one kid. In Coachella, Ruben Espinosa, and I cried. I was like, oh, but I thought we got beat him, but it was like, yeah, I just didn't want to lose ever.
Yeah, no, I know. Fair play. And your amateur record, was it 260 fights with
250
only 10
plus,
losses?
yeah, like 10 losses. Yeah, it was. I was fighting before there was scorecards. Before
Right.
they
Okay.
before they had the score the little scorecard wallets what they had. Yeah, I was fighting before that.
Wow.
So yeah,
Yeah,
very.
no, fair play. Yeah, so kind of, you obviously had a pretty successful amateur career, and you decided to turn pro. Firstly, what were the reasonings behind that, and what age were you when you decided to turn pro?
So I had a really good amateur career. I was supposed to go to the Olympics in '92, but I lost to Vernon Forrest, and Vernon Forrest went to the Olympics. So that's why um, I waited from '88 because in 1988 I fought Kelsey Banks. I think I was 16. I was still too young, but then so I waited to '92, and then I lost in the trials. So I just turned pro from there, because I wasn't gonna wait to '96 to try to go to the Olympics again. And I was more of a pro fighter anyway, where I like to go for the knockouts and fight that type of way. As an amateur, I was more of a boxer. I didn't really fight the way I fought as a professional. As a professional, I fought more aggressive. So,
Yeah,
and
you was
that's what I
always
like to
kind of
do.
take the fight to the other opponent, Yeah.
Yeah, because amateur you have to score points, and professional I was like, I'm very aggressive when knock guys out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I just want to talk about your pro career now. The list, we'll come on to the list of fighters that you have fought along the way, because the list is incredible. Your first loss as a pro, and that was again to Vernon Forrest, wasn't it?
I was 23-0 with 22 knockouts when I fought Philip Holiday for the world title, and then I won the world title. So I was when I fought Vernon Forrest, I was 38-0 with 35 knockouts.
Oh,
So I beat Philip Holiday, but I beat him unanimously, and it was 24. Then I was 24-0 with 22 knockouts because he went the distance with me. But my first loss was with Vernon Forrest, 38-0 with 35 knockouts.
wow.
Yeah.
38 and 0 before you first lost. That is an incredible record, isn't it? And then, so how did you bounce back off that defeat? Because like you said before, in the amateurs, when you sort of took a defeat after 30 fights, it was kind of, you cried. How did that impact you when you kind of was a pro and you'd gone 30 and
Well,
0? Because you must have thought you was kind of unbeatable. When you get to 38 and 0, you were like, right, no one can beat me, surely.
well, I still felt that way too. It's just certain things that you do, like, there was things that happened to me that led me to be able to get lost, and I understood that. So I wasn't really hurt as bad because I know, like, I really believe I could beat him, and I really knew I could beat him. Um, it was just like before I fought him, I fought Shane Taylor. Right before I fought Shane Taylor, my hernia popped out, and I had to, like, after the fight, after I knocked Shane Taylor out, I had to go get surgery right away, and then that kind of hindered me too. Then also I was having more personal problems with relationship stuff. Right before I fought Vernon, so I was driving to Arizona to see my then was my now ex-wife, and different, like, just go through different stuff, right? And then I fight him, and then I was beating him, but then something happens where he catches me, and I just wasn't 100% ready, and he beat me, and he's I guess he did what he's supposed to do, and it wasn't because I wasn't good enough. It was because I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do, and that's why he beat me.
That's fair enough.
Eh,
You can't say fairer than that.
yeah, and that's just truth. Like that, he beat me because I wasn't at my best, and I believe that. So it didn't hurt me as bad because it was if he would have beat me and I felt that I couldn't do anything about it or was something I could do, then it'd be more like, oh man, what can I do? But I always felt that I could do something to beat the next person, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But I knew that I wasn't 100%. Even the second fight, I thought I beat him the second fight when we fought, but I shouldn't do enough. It's something that I didn't do. I let him hold me. I let him like do certain things to get out of the way of me knocking him out, and it was my fault again. So I know I can beat him, or I could have beat him probably back then, but it just didn't happen. And maybe it's because he knows who I am because we spar with each other all the time in amateurs, and we fought a couple of times, so he kind of knows my rhythm and stuff. So I have to change that up, But yeah, he's a good fighter. He's a good fighter.
Very good fighter, yeah. But
Yeah, he's very good fighter. I take that from him. I mean, he's a great guy. Great fighter. And if I was going to lose anybody, it'd be like to somebody like him,
yeah,
right?
fair play. Well, it's a good, yeah, no, it's a good way of looking at it, and it's
Mhm.
happened, and you kind of you move on, don't you? And that's
You
obviously
have to
what
move.
you
You have to move on. Yeah.
concentrate on your next fights and stuff. But look, let's talk about the list of fighters. So you beat
Oh,
Oscar
great.
De La Hoya, so like another amazing fighter. Okay,
Right.
kind of the list of people. Margaret, I want to talk to you about the Margarito fight. Now, I'll say allegedly because he was obviously that kind of whole rap gate with the plaster of Paris stuff. You know, when you fought him, did you feel because
Well,
it was
no. That wasn't alleged. That's not
that was
allegedly. He had plaster apparel. He was gonna fight. He was gonna fight me with plaster apparel, but he didn't get a chance to. They cut it out. So it's not
right?
alleged. It's fact that he was gonna fight me with plaster apparel. But my coach had him cut those reps off, show it to the commission, and they seen that he had the dust and the plaster apparel inside the rob. So that's not alleged. That's fact.
I was saying alleged because I didn't know for legal reasons or whatever. But if it's
No, no,
fact,
no,
it's
no, no,
fact.
no. No, it's fact. It's not even legal. It's fact. He had plastic apparel. That's why Cotto fought him again, without the plastic apparel, and won. I
Yeah, it
guess the
must have
second
been
time.
satisfying. Must have been satisfying beating him, knowing he was up to cheating and stuff like that.
Well, it was for me. It was satisfying for another reason. People thought it was for the plastic apparel. I would have beat him if he had the plastic apparel because he didn't even hit me. Seriously, he really. If you watch the fight, he really didn't even hit me. Um, so it wouldn't have worked anyway. I would have broke him down anyway. But um, it was satisfactory for me for another reason. Um, I say it. So my ex was like, "This is the last $2 million you're gonna get before we break up or get divorced or whatever." And I said, "Yeah, it's my last 2 million because Margarito's gonna beat me. He's gonna kick my ass, and it's gonna last 2 million." So I really made sure that I whooped his ass. So he was getting his ass whooped. He was getting his ass whooped that night. And you can see the way I was fighting him. It was no play. It was not
Oh yeah,
because of plus apparel. You can't turn on that, but that good, and not train for it like that. Like I trained to whoop his ass, not to play with him. Not because of plus apparel, because of something else.
yeah, no fair play.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose the plaster in the gloves doesn't matter if he can't hit you, does it? So it's a good point.
It is better. Yeah, it is better anyway. But we made him cut it off, and maybe he felt a little more insecure because he didn't have his extra thing. Maybe I don't know, but I know that in my mind, I don't think he could have had a bat and it wasn't going to beat me.
Yeah, fair play, fair play,
that, that
fair
that
play.
that that was my mentality. My mentality was I'm coming to get this. No way he's going to leave this ring beating me.
Fair play,
Yeah,
fair play. I like your
yeah,
thinking. Um,
yeah,
that brings me on to a kind of another fight that I saw because I saw all the build up to this one. Now I can't pronounce it. Is it Mayorga?
yeah.
Kind of. the build up. He looked like he was really disrespectful on the build up to the fight, wasn't he? And he kind of looked like he got really under your skin. Whether that was for the cameras or not, was that all real?
I like Margarito. He does his stuff that's for camera and stuff like that, just to get a rise out of somebody. But he's not as bad as it seems. At least not to me. He wasn't
Right.
that.
Okay.
So we were cool, but we had some fun. We did some camera work. I'm gonna say that.
No, well, I tell you what, it looked realistic. I'm not gonna lie, it did look really
I'm
realistic.
a good actor. He's a good actor. She's a good actor. Everybody's a good actor.
No,
Actress is
brilliant,
whatever.
bro, brilliant. Um, so obviously moving on to fights. Now, I wanted to ask you, you are obviously, like I said, you're a Hall of Famer, incredible boxer. And the list of people you fought, we got Floyd Mayweather Jr., arguably one of the best to do it. You've got Manny Pacquiao, Canelo Alvarez. What I wanted to ask you is, I think I know the answer judging by the fights, but I want your opinion. Out of them three, which do you think was the toughest, and which one of them three do you think is the best?
The three out of Mayweather, Canelo, and who?
And
And Oscar
Pacquiao.
on Pacquiao. Well, obviously at that time of fighting, the best was Mayweather. It was more harder to hit. He was he was just harder to hit, and he was just more of a. He had the defensive thing, but he also had good offense too as well. And Mayweather was more of a complete fighter than Manny Pacquiao, and at that time was more of a complete fighter than Canelo. Now after Canelo fought Mayweather, he got better, and I would say Canelo might be a little bit, maybe a little better, but Floyd was the better fighter out of all of them. Manny Pacquiao was good too, with fast hands stuff like that, but he was easy to hit. And with both guys, with Mayweather and with Pacquiao, I was injured. I was injured with Mayweather with my groin. I was injured with Pacquiao with my Achilles. I popped my Achilles 4 months before I fought him.
That's a nasty injury as well.
4 months before I fought Manny Pacquiao,
Wow.
I popped my Achilles in the basketball game.
Oh, no way. That is a bad injury as well. And it takes a long time to recover. Some people don't
I fought
recover
him
fully at
4
all.
months with 12 rounds. Yeah, 4 months.
And
4 months.
with Mayweather as well, you kind of caught Mayweather with some
Yeah.
absolute peaches as well in that fight.
Yeah, I mean, if it was a bit a different situation, if I wasn't like it could have been, it could have went the other way, but you never can tell. I mean, Mayweather, like I said, he's a very good fighter, very fast. He had pretty good power and very good ring IQ, and really knows his way around the ring. I mean, he's grown up in a boxing family, you know,
Yeah.
so he knows a lot of tricks. I would say no more than me, but he knew a lot of tricks, and I can see that he's very seasoned. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I would say Mayweather was the best
Yeah.
out of those three at that time. Yeah.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. I thought you might have said Pacquiao. That was kind of what I thought you might have said, just because of
No,
his hand speed and everything else. But then when you explain it with the full package that is Floyd Mayweather Jr. and obviously went 51-0 without being beat, I suppose that kind of
I'll
speaks for
50
itself.
Yeah, but that's why he was the better one. There, it's just the technique and the style and all that stuff is just it's better. Whereas Pacquiao is probably throwing more punches than he's supposed to. Like Pacquiao might even, he did really good when he fought Mayweather. I thought that it could have easily went to Pacquiao, but they gave it to Mayweather by a landslide. I think there's some stuff that they did, but whatever, some foul play maybe, but yet still, I think Mayweather was the better. He's a harder fighter to fight than Manny Pacquiao for those
Yeah.
reasons. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
doke. Fair enough. So, kind of obviously, you kind of fought, 7-time world champion over 3 weight classes. You kind of moved up through the weights. where did you feel most? I apologize if some people, you've probably been asked these questions loads of times, but which
It's
weight
okay.
did you feel most comfortable fighting at?
Well, I was most comfortable at 147, but I was the strongest at 135. I
Right.
had
Okay.
all my title defenses were by knockout at 135. So yeah, I knocked everybody out. So 147, I knocked a lot of people out, but and very fast and strong. But I think 47 was a more comfortable way for me.
Right. Okay. No, that's interesting. To be fair. Um, so obviously you kind of you went through your career and you decided to call it a day.
Mhm.
Obviously, nothing really left to prove in the boxing. You know, you kind of three-weight world champion, 7 times world champion. And yeah, so I kind of, was it hard when you retired, when you finally decided that was it? Because you come back a couple of times, didn't you? Come out of retirement a couple of times. Is that right? Have I read right?
Yeah, I mean it was very hard to retire. I mean, I was gonna when I fought David Evanesian for my last fight. I was gonna fight for the if I would have beat him, I would have fought for the world title. I can't think of the guy's name now. From Florida, what's his name? Oh my god, light skinned. I was gonna fight. Well, anyway, I was going to fight for the world title after David Evanesian, and I lost. So I just and then had surgery on my arm, and the guy messed up my arm. Dropped the cauterizer on my wrist, and burnt a nerve or whatever. So I had to retire. Mold anyway, so I had to retire. I was 46. Yeah. So yeah, I was forced to retire. But yeah, it does get kind of like, damn, man, I don't want to retire. I want to keep going because I still feel like I get in the room with these guys. I still can. I'm talking about today. Like right now, today, I can get in the room with these guys and still like do numbers where they don't know what's going on. Like, oh my god! And I don't punch them hard either because I punch hard. So I just do like movements and stuff, and they're very surprised when they get in the room with me. I can see their eyes like, oh my god,
Yeah,
yeah.
but that's that
Even
mentality
today,
again, isn't it? That's that
even if it's
mentality.
mentality, yeah, it's the mentality I
Yeah.
got.
in
Yeah,
in here you kind of feel 21, but your body, I look, and I'm not going to compare my
yeah.
boxing career anywhere near to yours. I boxed on the unlicensed scene at heavyweight, and I had my
Okay.
last fight in April last year, and I'm 45 now, and you know what, I can't
Oh
do,
boy.
I know I can't do anything I could do 10 years ago. My body, I've got that many injuries, it just kills me off. So for you
Yeah,
to continue, was you 46 when you retired, did you say?
I was 46, so I fought David Evanesian, and David
That's crazy.
Evanesian he just fought Terrence Crawford. Remember?
Yeah, man,
David
that is
Evanesian fought Terrence Crawford.
Jesus. That's incredible. Because like I obviously fight 3 rounds on the unlicensed scene. You're at
Um,
4-4.
I
You're
did 12 rounds.
that is just that is
12
no wonder
rounds.
you
Yeah.
feel like you can still do a bit now.
I can still do it. 40. Oh
No,
yeah.
fair play to you. So I want to talk
Thanks,
about
brother.
as well. I've got so obviously you did a few exhibitions. Now I want to talk about the exhibition you did with Shaq. Like I have watched that and it looks like some sort of circus show because of the
We just have fun.
size
We just
difference.
have fun. We just having fun. I mean, Shaq's my friend, so he just. So the thing was with Shaq. Shaq was gonna do he was gonna do it with Mayweather, but Mayweather said he had to win the
Hmm.
fight, right? So he said, "No, I gotta win. Like they can't say that I lost because he wants to make his record undefeated." Or whatever. So Shaq is like, "No, like whatever happens, happens. You gotta probably beat me anyway, but I'm not gonna just say you're gonna win." So they didn't do it. So he called me up, and I'm like, "Yeah, I got you. Let's go." So we had fun. We did it.
No, it was brilliant to watch, but just the size difference because he's got to be like a foot and a half taller than you. So he just looked, and
Oh
that
my
what
god.
maybe
He
two.
leaned listen, I hit him on the chin one time and he leaned on me. I'm like, oh my god. I like hold him up. Let's hold up 400 pounds. That's hard to hold up like this thing's leaning on me. Like, oh my god. Yeah.
He is a
Yeah.
big man.
He's I had to almost jump to hit him. I had to bring him down to my side so I could hit him. I couldn't even hit him, I
You
just hit him in
did.
the body.
You did hit him though a few times. You got him, but
I
it looked
was
like a proper stretch.
yeah, I had to jump up high to like hit him.
No, brilliant, Phil, brilliant. So yeah, kind of. I've got a few quick. I not keep. I know you've been on your flight and everything else. So I've got a few couple of questions for you. Firstly, any fighter in history that you wish you'd have fought, and that I could say any weight, but that's not really. But like sort of in your weight categories, past kind of boxing.
I think Sugar Leonard and Roberto Duran would have been good fights for me.
Yeah.
Legendary fights. Sugar Leonard, Roberto Duran. I wouldn't want to fight Hearns, but everybody probably want to see that too. Hearns is because he was so tall. I hate them tall guys like that. That'd have
What
been
like
dangerous for me.
Shaq?
Yeah, like Shaq. Yeah,
But that's what surprised me because obviously Margarito was kind of really tall as well, really tall for that weight, wasn't he? As well, you know.
he was kind of tall, but the way he fought coming to me. So he came. Mexican style fighting doesn't work for Mexicans to fight me like that. To come at me. They come
Yeah.
at me, then I know because I've been doing it all my life. I live in California. I'm pretty much a black Mexican. You fight me. Seriously, you fight me like a Mexican, it's not gonna work. It worked for fighting anybody else, like maybe over in England or somewhere else, Puerto Rico and all that stuff. It works over there, but with me, it won't work because I'm I'm there. I live there. This is why I do this with you. It's like fighting in the same person. I know your mentality. I have the same mentality you got.
Yeah.
That killer instinct. Got a big chin. I can take a good shot. I'm very durable. You know,
Well, you've
so
only
it's
been
like,
stopped once in your whole career, haven't you? So
yeah, and that was just because my back was tight, and the referee knows me. He's like, I don't want you to get hurt because I'm older. So I don't want you to get hurt, so I'm gonna stop the fight. Not because I was knocked out, not because he was hurting me because from the head. It was just because I couldn't move. My back was hurting, so he stopped it for that.
yeah, fair one,
Looking
fair one.
out for me. Basically, he's just looking out for me. Like I was 45 or 45 years old. Something like that. I was 45 years old. And he's like, you're old, your back's tight, you can't move, you're getting hit, or I'm going to stop the fight.
Yeah, I can understand to a certain extent, but yeah, it must be gutting
And,
for you.
and yeah, then he's like, okay, well, you get a million point, I'm getting 1.3 million for this. So, all right, basically, I'm getting paid 1.3 million for that fight. Like, and I was getting paid like for Canelo, I got 600,000 for I wasn't. I'm sorry about that. I wasn't really getting paid as much.
Yeah, fair one,
So
fair one.
so
So you're
basically he stopped it because he didn't want me to get hurt. That's why.
yeah. Yeah, I like I say, I can understand that. Probably a decision on his part, judging by your age and everything else. But for you,
Yeah,
probably gutting because you kind of went your whole
yeah.
career
I'm a
without
warrior. I'm
getting
like, come
knocked
on,
down.
let's go. I don't
Yeah,
care. No,
exactly, and that's how you
I
used to
don't
fight
care.
as
Let's
well.
go. You can't knock me out. Yeah, but it's
No,
whatever. I'm like, you know what? I said, because my back was really tight. My back was so tight because what happened was I flew out there and they wasn't going to pay me all the money. So my manager told me fly home. Said get out there. They're not paying you. They don't have the money to put in your account. So don't fight. So I flew back. So then they flew out to back and said no, we got the money. They put the money in my account. So I had to fly back to Australia. So flying back and forth like that is like 17. I don't know how many hours. But my back, that's not good on your back. And then when
no,
he's like 2 times bigger than me anyway. He was leaning on my back. My back was tore up. I mean, I had a big old knot where the referee felt the knot on the back of my back. That's why he stopped because he felt the knot. He's like, oh shit. He felt the knot up. That's it. He stopped it.
no way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's a
it. It
bit of a
was. It
shitter,
was.
there, isn't it?
He felt the knot. He was like, he's a California referee too. So he's a referee that knows me, like see me, like nah. I'm stopping it. And he just stopped. That's it. All right, whatever.
Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it? But it kind of it is what it is, and like I say,
Yeah.
you don't think about it that much now. Now you're kind of
No,
older and
no,
wiser, you know.
not at all. Not at all. Not at all. I
No,
actually
fair play.
rocked him a couple times. Like he won the world title. He won the world title 168 and 160. And I fought him at 154. I was trying to fight 54. He was trying to go down to 54 to win the world title too. So he fought me at 154. And I wasn't really a 154 pounder either. So when he weighed in, when I seen him in the ring, he was like 175. Maybe 175. It might have been 180. Because that's what he does anyway. He's at 168, fought 168.
Yeah.
So it could have been like 180 in the ring. And I'm looking at him like, oh shit. He's leaning on me. And so it's just, yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah. It wasn't a good situation. I was I was just fighting for the money, I guess, if you will. At that time.
Yeah, well, it's kind of, you come. I get it. I get it. Obviously,
You know what I'm
look,
saying?
you're in it for like enjoyment. Of course, you are. You wouldn't do it
Yeah.
otherwise. It's a weird thing. I
Right.
always talk to people about boxing because it's weird. If people find it weird that you enjoy getting punched in the face, but it's kind of
Yeah, I
satisfying,
love
isn't it? It's weird.
yeah.
When you
Yeah.
ache, when you've sparred and your nose hurts
Yeah.
and your eyes hurt, it's a weird feeling,
Yeah.
isn't it? But it's a good
Yeah.
feeling.
It's good feeling.
So
So
obviously,
yeah.
but you do it. Obviously, you do it for money as well. You make a living from it, so you kind of
Well
go
you
into
make
stuff.
I mean, that's what comes with the territory. You know, you make money doing it. Doing what you love to do. That's the best thing in life, really. You make money doing what you love to do and work. Whatever work it is. I don't care what it is. If you make
Yeah,
money doing what you love to do, that's the best thing. If you make money doing what you don't want to do, then it's like, I gotta go to a job, I gotta go to work, I gotta you don't really want to be there. It's not good money. Good money
yeah.
is doing something you want to
Absolutely, absolutely. And I talk about I'm a firefighter here in the
do.
UK, and I love what I do. It doesn't feel like going to work, And
Right.
someone said to me exactly what you've just said there. If you go to work and you love what you do, it's priceless. You can't put a figure on that. That's just good, isn't it?
Right. You
Absolutely.
want to do it. You want to go to work. You want to be the best. You're going to be better at whatever you're doing. You're going to be better at it because you love doing it anyway. So yeah, you get paid for it, and that's great. And that's what you want to get paid. But if you're doing what you love to do, like you do it better than if you don't really want to do it. Then you're like you kind of half-ass it, because you don't really want to do it.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. That makes sense, definitely. So, toughest fight. Toughest fight, in your opinion, out of the whole, even amateurs, pro, one that stands out that was a proper brawler.
My toughest fight it was with Winky Wright because he was bigger than me, and it was just. And me punching his gloves and me not being able to hurt him, it was just tough because he was very grueling. Like he was just bigger and just I just couldn't hurt him. I couldn't do anything, and he just kept hitting me and hit me with little ticky tack shots, and I'm like, and then I had to go 12 rounds with that, So it was like it was just tough.
Yeah, it must be soul destroying if you can't hurt the opponent.
Yeah, it's like I can't really hurt him, and he can still keep coming back. Like I don't see no change him to the body to hit. It's just the same person for the
Horrible,
whole
huh?
12 rounds. It's like a robot or something. I don't know.
No, that's not good. That's not good. That's soul destroying, the problem.
Right?
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that. So I suppose I've got a couple more questions for you, and then I will let you go. So, any regrets from your boxing career that you can think of? Or do you feel like you achieved everything you could achieve? Your career has been, in my opinion, has been amazing. You've been arguably linked as one of the greatest to ever lace them up. I agree with that sentiment as well. I grew up watching you.
Thank you.
I can say I'm a big fan of boxing before anything else, and a big fan of yours. So, kind of any regrets or stuff that you wish you could have done different, perhaps, as you were kind of boxing, or do you
Well,
feel
I
you've
think
done?
that I did everything. I think that the ups and downs and everything. I loved my career and what it symbolized for everybody, for the people watching. There's ups and downs, but you know, it symbolized that you never give up, and I never gave up. Even though I lost a couple of here or there, I'll still come back and fight just as hard for the next one. It's not like I gave up. It's like okay, he's still here. He's still knocking people out. He's still like even now I can go in the ring right now and they'll be like, dang, like, he still can fight. He's still like I'm in the ring, I'm sparring with people like, man, he's still like you could fight somebody right now. Like you're really still good.
You're
And
not
that's like,
tempted.
huh?
You're not
No,
tempted.
no, no, I'm not gonna do a regular fight unless it's like I do with Manny Pacquiao or I do something with Mayweather or let's say Conor McGregor, where I'm making some good money. Then I'll go in there and I'll fight. I'll do it because I can. But if it's not with that, I'm not gonna just go and just do it because I don't know. I
No,
won't do it like that.
it's got
But
to be a money
but
incentive. I get it. I get it.
yeah, it's pretty funny involved. So I'll just help the fighters nowadays try to be better fighters, teach them some of the old school values that I learned when I was coming up. And that I think that a lot of it's lost. A lot of people don't teach the old school values of boxing, different things. So I would love to teach that and give back to them so they can teach to somebody and they can teach somebody, because a lot of this stuff that is going on now, they're doing like workout stuff, like meaning you have workout coaches that are being boxing coaches, are trying to train as fighters, as boxers, but they're just workout coaches. They're like strength and conditioning, and they don't really know though because they've never really been in the ring like that. But they heard some coaches say this or that or whatever, so they think they know, but you don't know unless you feel it. Unless you're in the ring, and you feel what's going on. Then you can tell from experience what's going on.
Yeah,
Saying
absolutely. I think it's important about a coach has been in the ring and experienced that. There are some exceptions with some coaches that
there's some exceptions, but I'm just saying like on a certain level, like you need to, even if you have that coach should be able to go to like let's say a fighter or somebody that knows the boxing like different. There's different little things in that you have to know when you're in there. Like how to maneuver the footwork, placement of the feet where you're gonna knock the person out, or how to knock a person out. When? When's the right time to throw the right shot to knock him out? How to throw the shot the right way to get the knockout. Not just throwing the punch, boom, or boom, boom, 1, 2, or 3, or whatever, certain way on the mitts or something like that. But when's the timing of it? What's the mentality of it? What you're throwing? Why you throwing it? When you throwing it?
yeah,
It's like so many different things that go along with um teaching or showing this person unless they learn on themselves or their own. By trials and tribulations. You can learn it yourself. But if you have somebody that went through it already, they can kind of tell you exactly what you have to do. They can look at it. You're not, twisted at the end a certain way. You're not snapping at the end or whatever. Your foot. It's all about the foot placement and with the timing of the shot anyway. And you can tell. I could tell them the timing of when you want to throw it, when you gonna get the knockout, and how it's gonna happen. Because I see it. I know how to set it up the right way. So I think that fighters in general can say that because they knock people. If you knock people out or if you punch like that, you know what the knockout punch is. You can feel it. It's a
yeah,
feeling. I don't
absolutely.
know.
Yeah, you will. But that comes from experience, doesn't it? And when you've had as many
It comes from
fights as
experience.
you have, you've kind of been in there, you've done it. You've probably seen every or felt every shot or thrown every shot from every angle.
I've seen it like that, and I've watched so many videos of different great fighters do it. And you can see the look in their eye. You can see the tweak in their shoulder, the twist in their foot, the movement of their hips and their body. That you can just see it, and that's what's going to determine if you're going to get the right shot. Whether it's speed, power, or whether it's speed or power, or just being the right timing, just throwing it out there. You can actually get a knockout. I mean, Mayweather kind of did that with Ricky Hatton when he did the left foot, the check left hook. Ricky
Yeah,
Hatton ran right into it, but he that check it. It was the same as the timing. It wasn't the power of the shot; it was the timing of the shot.
yeah,
Right
absolutely.
when he hit him.
I'm hoping to get Ricky Hatton on at some point. I'm trying to get a message to him and get him on because I think he'd be good to chat to as well. But
Oh, it's been great chat with. Yeah,
yeah, he'd be a
I
great
think
chat.
I think you tell them you got me, they be like, okay, I got Shane, so come
I
on, let's
know, I
go.
know. I think I've already dropped it. I think I've already dropped it in there. I was like, look, Shane Mosley's coming on, so surely, Ricky, you should come on. And it's it's great. You're good advertising, Shane. You're good advertising. But no, seriously, I've got one last question for you, and it was on the topic of it as you talked about there. Kind of, you've got
Okay.
coaches being in the gym that have not really boxed, and they're kind of strength and conditioning coaches and teaching people how to box. What I want to talk about is like there's a couple of things there, really. I want to talk about the scoring system. Do you think that's got to change? Because there's been some really, really hideous decisions recently. And also, I want to talk what you make of these kind of crossover fights. And do you think there's a place? Do you think they're good for boxing? So the first question is the scoring system and how the system is scored. Do you think that probably needs to change? Because I don't know if you've obviously seen some of the fights of recent over in the UK. That where the scoring system has been a little bit like it was a definite win for the other person, no question, and it was given to the other guy. So, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, the score system is normally designed for the A side to win. Maybe if you get big fights, you need to get judges from different places or something that are not linked to the promoters of the show. Because if they're linked to the promoters of the show, then they're gonna probably go with the promoter's fighter, whoever they're linked to. You know, a little bit, unless the other guy just beats him up, then they can't do it. But if he doesn't, then they lean to the other side. So yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's pretty. It's not a good thing, but that's why I like boxing with for the knockouts, because if you knock them out, then it does go to the judges, and they can't do
yeah, they
anything.
take it out of the judge's
Hey,
hands.
take out the judge's hands.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
they'll walk hard. Learn how to knock people out. They won't go distance, and they can't cheat you.
No,
So
fair play. Yeah, no, that kind of makes
yeah,
sense. And there's like this talk of corruption. Where there's money, there's always corruption, isn't he? That's kind of
exactly. Yeah,
that's the sad thing. And
money's part of corruption. So all
ah,
of doesn't matter what you do, doesn't matter what it's boxing, whatever it is. you
politics.
know, Politics, banking, whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, absolutely. No, they're totally different
baseball,
topics.
football.
We could talk forever about the corruption in all sorts of them organisations, and we go off at a
Yeah,
tangent.
yeah, we got to try to minimize it as much as you. I don't know how to minimize it. Maybe getting coaches from different places, or getting referees or judges from different places of the promoters, all the promoters. Like maybe you might get some judges in Thailand or Mexico, wherever the promoters are, the judges have to be picked from somewhere else.
Yeah,
Maybe I don't
that
know.
makes sense. You think that'd be part of it anyway, wouldn't you? But
Yeah, yeah.
hey ho. And I suppose my last question, moving on to my last question, there's been a lot of crossover in the sport. Obviously, Jake Paul, Logan Paul, stuff like that. I wanted your take on it, whether you think it's good for boxing or kind of bad for boxing. I think it's, from my opinion, I feel like it's brought a lot of sort of interest back into boxing. Not that they lost interest, but you know what I mean? I think this kind of question,
Yeah.
but I wanted to get your kind of opinion on it, what you think.
Well, you know that I was Jake Paul's trainer.
Yeah.
Um, at what time I trained him when he first came out as a kid, and when he fought Nate Diaz as well. So I do think that it has a lot of positive benefits to Jake, or to the fight fans, because he bring a lot of you know new eyeballs to the boxing arena. Um, but it also brings a bit of, how can I say, it brings a bit of like, it's WWE type of feel, if you will. Brings a bit
A
of that
pantomime, a
WWE.
bit like a pantomime kind of
Yeah,
theatre.
it brings a little bit of it can bring that too. Even though Jake is a real fighter and he's trained hard and all that stuff, but you need experience, and I think that him doing these different things are misleading the public on real fighting at sometimes. A real fight. They're misleading them. Like, I have people that are my friends, but oh, Jake Paul, he's the best. He can beat this person or that person. I'm like,
Mm,
but you know what I'm saying? Even though they bring him to, I'm like, I don't know about that. And I like Jake, what I'm saying, but it's like, I have to agree with truth. Like, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm not gonna be like, yeah, he can do this and he can do that. I'm gonna tell you the truth. what I really believe, what I really feel, and I know that a lot of these people he probably can't beat like that. I've seen it myself, so I know what he can do.
Yeah, there's talk of him fighting Canelo Alvarez, isn't there?
Yeah,
In the pipeline, and
yeah,
I know there's kind of a big weight difference there,
yeah.
but I don't think that's going
It
to end too well.
it, it went too well for Jake now.
No, he's
Now
different.
he's full. Now he's full. Now he's fooling himself to think that he is that person, but you're not that person yet. You could be if maybe 5 more years from now or 4 more years or something. They get a couple of more experience, but I'm not sure if it's right now. Yeah, I
Yeah,
just can't see that.
no, me neither. I think that might be an interesting one. We'll see.
Yeah,
We'll
I mean,
see.
I would see how I would like to see how good he does, how
Yeah,
good Jake
I think
does.
that it is because it's been questionable. Some of the people he's fought in the past, good fighters in the UFC, but probably past
Yeah.
their kind of sell by date,
Uh,
as it were, and stuff like that. And then, there was the Tyson fight. I personally don't think Tyson was operating on 100%. I still believe a Mike Tyson at 100% at that age destroys a Jake Paul, in my personal opinion. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
I'm just gonna say Mike Tyson likes Jake Paul.
Yeah, yeah,
They're friends, so
yeah.
I don't think Mike Tyson would try to hurt Jake Paul.
No, that's fair enough. It's fair enough. Look, and there's been
It's a
questions. There's been
it's a
questions there whether the kind of whether he did it for the money, and I say, well, if he did it for the money, he did it
he
for
did
the money. Fair play to him.
yeah it kind of looks that way.
Yeah, but
I mean,
look,
if you watch him trip the pads and the mitts and all that stuff, and then you see him do his workout, then you see him go in there, he looks totally different from what he was doing on the mitts and all. It's like, wait a minute, come on, bro. No, that's not. No, stop it.
yeah,
You're playing.
and that's what it looked like. And a part of me wanted to see the glimpses of the mic from the kind of 80s and 90s and see what had happened.
Yeah.
And, it was just I personally, as a fan, was a little bit disappointed. But look, it is what it is. I'm not going to begrudge Mike. He made some good money from it, so fair play.
He made 20 million. Jake made 40 million, and yeah, they both made some good money. And they went to the Trump thing, and Mike Tyson was on his shoulders, and
Yeah,
the
look, I'd
inauguration.
fight Mike Tyson for 100 grand. I'm telling you now, I would do it for 100 grand.
Yeah,
I'd end up dead, but I would do it. But
yeah.
no, look, Shane, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on. I really, really appreciate it. I wish you well in the future. And
Thank you.
yeah, been an absolute pleasure, pal. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate it, brother. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.